We are going to talk about a third person in a relationship and how this affects at least 6 generations after this event happened. When there is a third person in a relationship, usually the person that is having an affair or cheating is connected to the fate of someone else. Because the main reason that we are humans and the main mission of a human is to have a partner. We are not beings that should be isolated. In that sense, we want to create a relationship. We want to have children. That's the mission that I have, the unconscious mission. That it might be different to the one that I have consciously, because I remember how my father was beating up my mother and I don't want to repeat that pattern. I've been only dating narcissists, and why am I going to keep trying? So many reasons that my conscious mind can tell me to don't have a partner. When there is a third person in a relationship, there are a few concepts. The first concept is that there is someone that is excluded. When I said excluded, that means that probably, and this is a case, there is a person who now has a hard time finding the right partner. When we check generationally and when we do dynamics in family constellations, we found out that one of her great-grandparents, we don't know which one, but he had an affair or she had an affair. But this person, the third person, felt bad. She hasn't felt seen. In fact, she had a child. That's what we have seen with the cards. She had a child, and they were never recognized as part of the family. In fact, one of these person probably left the original wife or the original husband to go with this lover, let's say. So now, my client, she cannot keep a relationship that is longer than 2 years. She is homosexual, and it's okay to be homosexual, heterosexual, pansexual. I don't know how many sexuals are, and it's okay. But there is a thing with homosexuality that, in the words of Bert Hellinger, that is the creator of family constellations, he says that probably is because there is an imbalance, the exclusion of one of the parents. When I talk to this client tells me how her father cheated on her mother, but the mother, she thinks that never happened. But she was telling me how many struggles they had. So that's one thing, the exclusion of the lover 4 generations before I was born, but also the exclusion of the lover of my father or of my mother, that is so connected to me. When there is a third person, we always have to think who my partner, let's say if my partner cheated on me, I don't represent a partner for my husband. I will represent someone else, because if I was like in his life, I was a real partner, he wouldn't be cheating on me. He's still looking for something, right? That I am not the partner. But the other case could be that I do represent a partner for him, but he didn't have his mother for any reasons. He didn't have his mother, so he's still looking for a mother for himself, so he's cheating. And there's no excuse for cheating, because at the end it's your own will. Besides all the patterns and all the emotions and all the intergenerational trauma, at the end is your own choice or your partner's choice. But there are influences. So if I'm talking now and someone pushes me, all of a sudden, I don't know if someone is gonna push me off, probably I'm gonna lean forward, right? That external force, that force that I cannot control, those are the influences of your family, your biological family, but also your partner's family, because you become one system. When a third person exists or is in a family system, we have to see that person as a part of the family system. We have to include her or include him. Why? Because they had a place, or they were a partner that it was before. They were a partner, a person who was with my father or my mother while they were having that relationship. It doesn't matter, but they existed. Let's say you have a, like that plant that I have here. I don't like the leaf that is on top, so I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna remove it from the plant. I'm gonna take it. Does that mean that that leaf didn't exist in this plant, or it just means that I don't like it and I don't want to see it and I'm just gonna take it? It did exist. That woman, that man, that lover existed, and it has a place. Besides the story, how it was morally incorrect, morally incorrect, but you don't know the story, and the story doesn't matter. It's just the fact. The fact is that it existed. So usually, and this is very, very, very common, when I'm doing a family constellations and I support myself with my major arcanas, if I find someone that comes a lot, it's not the lovers that much. It comes with the Empress. The Empress is the number 3. And for me, each person has a different way to read. This is not, I'm not telling you, this is not a regular reading. This is a reading for, specifically for ancestral healing family constellations. When a person comes with the Empress, there is a third person. Could be female or male. And if it comes with the lovers, more. In this client, my client repeated, and she was on her present living like this. This is another client. This is another client that has issues with her partner. She comes with this one. Her great-grandparents with this one and this one. When I put this one that she doesn't know, so she's putting her hand on top, she's like, I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe. Yeah, you cannot breathe because that situation is making you to have struggles now in your life. So there is a movement, and there is a healing movement to do. If I know that there was a situation, that there is an old uncle, an old aunt, that no one talks about them because they are not family, because they were born from the mistresses or from the lover of my great-grandfather or my grandfather, well, I would recommend you to do something symbolically, to call me and do a family constellations online or in person, to give them a place. And giving a place to someone is just saying, like, I see you. You are part of the family too. You belong too. My grandfather, my paternal grandfather, and this is a sequence, right? When there is a person who cheats a lot and has a lot of kids, something happened before, correct? So he was a type of person, and I love him so much. My daughter has decided to be born the same day of his birthday. He was so petite, beautiful eyes, very pilas, like very charismatic. Well, but he had a lot of kids. He had a lot of women. I think that he probably have more than 12, 13 kids. I found out his birth certificate. Something happened to my grandfather. I found that old birth certificate, and guess what? When his father registered him, my grandfather was born from a extramarital, a non-consent relationship between his father, my great-grandfather, and the sister. So the great-grandfather was married with someone, and then he cheated with this woman with a sister, and that's when my grandfather was born. In this birth certificate, the great-grandfather wrote extramarital, so hijo, like son, non-recognized. So he didn't even recognize my own grandfather, even though when he went to sign up for him and give him his last name. And that gives you a lot of information, because you create loyalties, right? So there was a lot of pain. No one talked about this. And I have seen generations after my grandfather, I'm telling you, my father's generation, my generation, uh, following the same patterns. And it's not the fault of the great grandfather, but it's that we haven't seen all these women that felt isolated, and even the own son feeling isolated and excluded, because he was not recognized. So this dynamic is a good dynamic to do. You include everyone. You can even say it. You can put peg dolls. You can do whatever you want to do. Just so you know, I have this beautiful candle, cycle breaking. I am a cycle breaker. With courage and intention, I release patterns that no longer serve me, healing ancestral wounds and paving the way for future generations. The cycle ends with me, and a new path begins. I have different candles. I already almost used the whole candle here, that you can support your healing journey in a meditation, when you are doing your dynamics, in a past life regression. They are on my website. And go to my website, go to my Instagram, I am Mama Alida, to follow me for more. Bye bye.